Learn English. Alex often felt a profound frustration whenever he tried to learn English, stumbling over simple sentences and constantly repeating grammatical mistakes. He wondered, why do I always make mistakes? This persistent question echoed in his mind, dampening his enthusiasm and making the entire process seem daunting, almost insurmountable, despite his earnest desire to communicate effectively with the world. His initial attempts to improve English felt like an uphill battle, full of self-doubt and awkward pauses. He struggled with remembering new vocabulary and applying grammar rules consistently in real-time conversations. Every time he opened his mouth, fear of mispronunciation or incorrect phrasing paralyzed him, leading to more silence than actual communication, a cycle of frustration. Alex knew there had to be a better way to improve his English beyond rote memorization and endless textbook exercises. He desperately sought strategies on how to learn English effectively, scouring online forums and watching countless YouTube videos, hoping for a breakthrough that would transform his learning journey from stagnant to dynamic and truly productive. One day, he stumbled upon an article emphasizing why reading is so important for language acquisition. It highlighted how consistent reading exposes learners to natural sentence structures, expands vocabulary passively, and reinforces grammar in context, making the learning process less about memorizing rules and more about absorbing the language organically through immersion. Initially skeptical, Alex decided to give it a try, starting with simple English novels and news articles. He discovered that why reading is important wasn't just theoretical advice, it genuinely transformed his understanding. Reading daily, even for short periods, gradually improved his comprehension and introduced him to idiomatic expressions previously unknown, building a strong foundation. As he continued reading, Alex noticed a significant improvement in his passive vocabulary and an intuitive grasp of sentence patterns. His brain began to recognize correct structures naturally, reducing the number of grammar mistakes he made while writing or speaking. Reading became his silent mentor, guiding him through the intricate nuances of the English language. Despite his progress in reading, Alex still faced a formidable challenge: speaking. He could read and understand, but how to talk to anyone in English remained a terrifying prospect. The thought of engaging in real-time conversations filled him with anxiety, fearing judgment for his accent or his inevitable grammatical blunders, which held him back. He observed how other people talk in English, seemingly effortlessly, engaging in lively discussions and expressing themselves fluently. This observation often fueled his self-consciousness, making him hesitate even more to participate in group settings, feeling that his English was simply not good enough compared to the confident speakers around him. Alex realized that passive learning from reading, while crucial, wouldn't magically unlock his speaking potential. He understood that to truly improve his English, he needed to actively engage his speaking muscles. The fear of making mistakes had to be confronted directly, not avoided, to break free from his self-imposed linguistic prison. A friend suggested how to talk to people in pairs as a low-pressure starting point. The idea resonated with Alex. Practicing with just one other person felt less intimidating than a large group, offering a safe space to experiment with new phrases and concepts without the overwhelming pressure of multiple listeners scrutinizing every word he uttered. Alex found a language exchange partner online, a friendly native speaker named Sarah. Their first few sessions were awkward, filled with long pauses and hesitant sentences. Yet, Sarah was patient, correcting him gently and encouraging him to start step-by-step talking, emphasizing that every small utterance contributed to overall fluency. Slowly but surely, Alex's confidence grew during these pair conversations. He noticed his pronunciation improving and his ability to construct sentences becoming more fluid. The mistakes were still there, but they no longer felt like catastrophic failures. Instead, they became learning opportunities, feedback loops for refinement, pushing him forward. Encouraged by his progress with Sarah, Alex decided to expand his practice. He joined an online English speaking club, starting with one-on-one sessions and gradually venturing into small group discussions. This gradual approach made how to talk to anyone in English seem less daunting, breaking down the large goal into manageable steps. He started to view his mistakes differently. Instead of fearing them, he saw them as invaluable indicators of areas needing improvement. He even began asking for corrections actively, realizing that why I always make mistakes was not a sign of failure but a natural part of the learning curve, a necessary stepping stone. Observing how other people talk in English became less about comparison and more about inspiration. He paid attention to their intonation, their use of colloquialisms, and their natural flow, trying to mimic effective phrases and communication strategies, integrating them into his own speaking style for more authentic conversations. Alex found that the vocabulary and grammar he absorbed from reading greatly enhanced his speaking ability. Phrases and sentence structures he encountered in books began to surface naturally in his conversations, proving how intertwined why reading is important was with effective oral communication skills. He established a routine, daily reading, followed by short conversation practice, whether with Sarah, other club members, or even just talking to himself in English, rehearsing scenarios. This consistent and structured, how to learn English approach ensured continuous progress and solidified his newfound linguistic habits. As his confidence blossomed, Alex ventured into more complex topics, discussing current events, personal opinions, and abstract ideas. He was no longer just exchanging pleasantries, he was genuinely expressing himself, sharing his thoughts and feelings, demonstrating a deeper command of the English language. The initial shyness that had plagued him for so long began to dissipate. He discovered that most people were incredibly supportive and appreciative of his effort to communicate in their language, making how to talk to anyone in English a far more rewarding experience than he had ever anticipated. He found himself confidently participating in online webinars, engaging in English-speaking gaming communities, and even making new international friends through conversation. The world of English communication, once a source of dread, transformed into a vibrant playground of connection and personal growth. Alex realized that the true joy of learning English wasn't just about perfect grammar or a flawless accent. It was about the ability to connect with diverse individuals, to understand different perspectives, and to share his own unique voice with a global audience, enriching his life immeasurably. His improved English opened doors to new opportunities, from understanding international news reports without translation to considering overseas job prospects. The investment he made in how to improve your English paid off in ways he hadn't even imagined, broadening his horizons significantly. Reflecting on his journey, Alex often thought about why I always make mistakes initially and how those very mistakes became catalysts for growth. He began sharing his story with others, emphasizing the importance of perseverance and adopting a positive mindset toward errors. He frequently advised aspiring learners, stressing why reading is so important for building a solid foundation. He explained how consistent exposure to written English laid the groundwork for better speaking and listening comprehension, making the entire learning process more intuitive and enjoyable. Alex also championed the how to talk to people in pairs method, describing it as the perfect bridge from passive learning to active conversation. He highlighted its low-stakes environment, allowing learners to build confidence gradually before tackling larger, more demanding social situations. He encouraged everyone to start step-by-step talking, emphasizing that fluency wasn't achieved overnight but through consistent, small victories. Every sentence spoken, every new word learned, was a step forward, contributing to the cumulative mastery of the language. When asked how other people talk in English, Alex would share his insights on active listening and mimicking. He explained how observing native speakers' rhythm and flow could dramatically improve one's own naturalness in conversation, accelerating the learning curve significantly. Alex realized that how to learn English wasn't a single path but a combination of synergistic strategies, extensive reading, courageous speaking practice, mindful listening, and embracing every mistake as a lesson. This holistic approach accelerated his progress immensely. Even after achieving a high level of fluency, Alex understood the importance of continuous practice to how to improve your English further and maintain his skills. He continued reading complex texts and sought out diverse conversation partners, ensuring his language abilities remained sharp and adaptable. The biggest transformation wasn't just in his language skills but in his overall confidence. He discovered that believing in his ability to communicate, even imperfectly, was just as crucial as grammar or vocabulary in mastering how to talk to anyone in English effectively. His journey became a testament to the power of persistence and adaptive learning. He applied the lessons learned about overcoming challenges in English to other areas of his life, approaching new endeavors with the same step-by-step methodology and resilient spirit. The question, why I always make mistakes, no longer haunted him. He understood that mistakes were simply signs of effort, proof that he was trying, pushing his boundaries, and actively engaging with the language rather than passively avoiding potential errors. Reading became not just a learning tool but a source of immense pleasure. He devoured English novels, articles, and even academic papers, expanding his knowledge base while simultaneously reinforcing his linguistic proficiency, demonstrating why reading is important for ongoing growth. The transition from how to talk to people in pairs to speaking in larger groups felt natural, a logical progression built on a solid foundation of one-on-one confidence. He navigated group discussions with ease, contributing thoughtfully and participating actively. Alex embraced the idea that learning English was an ongoing process, not a destination. He was always looking for ways how to improve your English further, whether through new idioms, nuanced expressions, or refining his accent for clearer communication. He actively sought out conversations with people from different English-speaking backgrounds, tuning his ear to various accents and speech patterns. This broadened his understanding of how other people talk in English globally, making him a more versatile communicator. With his improved fluency, Alex set new linguistic goals, perhaps aiming for specific certifications or specialized vocabulary for his career. This constant striving kept his motivation high and ensured his English skills remained cutting-edge and relevant. His story became an inspiration for countless friends and acquaintances who struggled with English. He proved that dedication, combined with effective strategies, could truly transform one's linguistic abilities and unlock a world of opportunities. When asked for practical advice on how to learn English, Alex always emphasized consistency over intensity. He believed that short, regular practice sessions were far more effective than sporadic, marathon study efforts, fostering sustainable progress. He also highlighted the often underestimated importance of active listening, explaining how attentively listening to how other people talk in English was crucial for understanding rhythm, intonation, and natural pauses, which are vital for fluent speaking. Alex's routine became a cornerstone of his success: a morning reading session, listening to English podcasts during his commute, and engaging in conversation practice in the evenings. This routine made how to improve your English an integrated part of his daily life. While not living in an English-speaking country, he created his own immersive environment by consuming all media in English, from movies and TV shows to music and news, reinforcing why reading is important, alongside listening for overall exposure. The initial dread and fear associated with speaking English had transformed into genuine excitement and curiosity. He now actively sought out opportunities to use English, eager to connect and share experiences with people from around the globe. He learned that learning a language should be an enjoyable journey, not a chore. By finding topics he loved to read about and people he enjoyed talking to, how to learn English became a passionate pursuit rather than a tedious obligation. English, once a barrier, became a powerful tool for self-expression. Alex found his unique voice in the language, capable of conveying his thoughts, humor, and personality authentically, bridging cultural gaps effortlessly. He envisioned future travels, international collaborations, and deep friendships, all facilitated by his hard-earned English fluency. The world felt much smaller and more accessible, teeming with possibilities for exploration and connection. His story stood as a vivid example that persistent effort truly pays off. The path to fluency was rarely linear, but with dedication and the right strategies, anyone could overcome the challenges and achieve their English learning dreams. Sometimes, he would reflect on that anxious young man who constantly asked, "Why I always make mistakes," and smile. He had transformed those mistakes into stepping stones, building a robust linguistic foundation, brick by painstaking brick. The foundational role of reading never diminished for him. It remained a constant source of new vocabulary and refined understanding, reaffirming why reading is important for long-term language mastery and intellectual growth. Ultimately, Alex realized that learning English was about human connection. It was about breaking down communication barriers and fostering understanding between people from diverse backgrounds, a truly invaluable skill in today's interconnected world. His life was irrevocably changed, richer and more expansive, all because he decided to tackle the challenge of learning English head-on, embracing every lesson, every conversation, and every precious moment of improvement.